Hi friends, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do something that I have been so excited to do for such a long time, and that is a 24-hour reading vlog. This is such a big part of the booktube community, and it's something that almost kind of feels like a rite of passage for me doing booktube videos. I think they're so entertaining to watch. They're some of my favorite videos to watch, and so I'm really excited to make one. So the way that I'm going to be doing my 24-hour reading vlog is I am not going to be reading for 24 hours straight because quite frankly I want to sleep. So how I'm going to do it is I am going to set a timer for 24 hours and I am going to pause the timer whenever I am not reading. Now I may stay up a little bit later than normal, but I'm not planning on staying up all night. But when I'm doing things like showering, cooking, cleaning, whatever, the timer will not be going, it will be paused. So it will only count when I am actually actively reading a book. And I have sectioned off a couple days in order to do this. It is currently Friday night and I'm hoping to have this done by Sunday afternoon. So hopefully we can get a few hours in tonight and then read pretty much for the whole day tomorrow in order to get this done. And specifically for this vlog, I am going to be continuing series that I am in the middle of again for multiple reasons. One is some of the books that I have picked out are books that I just really want to read or books that are on my February TBR. And so I have a couple options of books that I want to get through, but we'll see if I actually actively get through all of them because one of them is pretty thick. And so these are the books that I'm planning on trying to get through. I am going to start with Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I am so excited about this. You guys know how much I love the Empyrean series and that I've been so excited for this book to come out and like really anticipating it. And it came out like a week ago now and I have just now gotten to start it. I am on page 60 right now, so I have a very long way to go. And so this is the book that I'm going to be reading for the majority of the 24 hours, definitely not gonna lie. So depending on how fast I read this book, we'll see if I get through the other two books or if I only get through two, but my goal is all three. Then the other two that hopefully I'll get to is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. This is the second book to the To Kill a Mockingbird series, and it's only these two books, so it's like a duology. So this is the second one in that, and once I finish this book, then that series will be complete. And then also Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Now I chose this book for two reasons. One, it is the only book in the Part of Your World series that I have not read. And two, it is the only book by Abby Jimenez, full-length novel by Abby Jimenez that I have not read. And one of my goals is to read all of her full-length novels before her newest novel comes out in April. So if I get to read this one, then I'll be killing two birds with one stone. And a bonus is that this is on Kindle Unlimited, so I could read it on my Kindle, which is always a plus in my mind. So hopefully I get to all three of these. I'm not really sure if I will. It just depends on how fast I'm reading Onyx Storm, but that's the plan for the reads. And then another fun part of this 24-hour reading vlog, at least for me, is that I will not be doing it by myself. I actually have a friend that has come over and she's going to spend the next couple days with me and attempt to read 24 hours with me as well. Would you like to come over and say hello?
Hello.
We have to adjust a little bit, hang on. This is Riley and she is going to be joining me for this 24-hour challenge. Riley, what are you going to be reading? It's like
Onyx Storm.
She's a little camera shy and that's okay. Everyone just say hi Riley in the comments, and yeah, she's just gonna go back on the couch. You'll see more of her, don't worry. She'll also be giving her review. So she's going to be starting with Onyx Storm and then she's not sure what she's gonna read after that. So that is the plan. So we are going to be starting at 6:22 on January 31st. 3, 2, 1. There you go, we've started. So our first 24-hour readathon. This is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. Let's go ahead and start Onyx Storm, or continue it. It is several hours later, lots of hours later actually, from the last clip that I filmed for you guys. I am this far in page 190, chapter 22, and I have 19 hours and 21 minutes left, and so far I'm really liking it. This one is a little bit of a change in pace and like the feel and the vibe of the book, and honestly I'm really enjoying it. I think that having a different perspective on some of the characters is really refreshing, and it's definitely keeping the story engaging because it doesn't feel like the same book over and over again, because she's not just writing for formula that she knows works. So I'm not quite halfway there yet, but we're gonna read for a little bit longer before we go to bed, so maybe we'll get another chapter or two done tonight. We'll see what happens. Let's check on Riley. How's it going, Rouse?
Good.
What page are you on?
159.
159?
Yes.
What chapter are you on?
18.
Chapter 18. How are you liking it so far?
I'm enjoying it very much.
Better than Iron Flame?
Yes.
Better than Fourth Wing?
No.
I agree. I don't know if anything's gonna compare to Fourth Wing. Yeah, that's all the updates we have for you guys right now. Basically, we're just gonna be reading till we fall asleep. I will update you guys more so in the morning. Good morning. So it is like 10 a.m. on Saturday. We've been up for a couple hours. We just haven't started reading yet. And yeah, today we're gonna have a great day just sitting down and reading as much as possible. We're really hoping to get at least 12 or 13 hours of reading in today. So we're currently making our respective drinks. I'm making chai, Riley's making coffee. So yeah, that's the plan for today. I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update now that my thoughts are hopefully a little bit more coherent than they were at midnight last night, which is when I last filmed. I ended last night on page 205, and I put it in on Goodreads, and that says that I am 38% of the way through the book. Honestly, I was expecting to be a little bit further in the book. I don't know if I was just reading slow last night or if that is my normal pace, and I think that I read faster than I actually do. But this is like 5 hours worth of reading, and I'm only on page 205, and I was already like 60 pages in. That seems really slow to me. Hopefully today I'll be reading a little bit faster so I can get to a second book in this vlog. I'm liking this book better than Iron Flame. I really enjoyed Iron Flame, so that's kind of saying a lot. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a 5-star read, but of course I haven't seen what's going to happen for the last 7 or 60-ish% of the book. Obviously a really big question mark, but so far, this book is much less infuriating than Iron Flame because Violet is not upset all the time and Xaden isn't beating around the bush and making her ask like very specific questions to get information. So the frustrating parts of Iron Flame are not in this. And I just have to say that I really do appreciate that Rebecca Yarros has written 3 completely different books for this series. Like the vibe and the feel of each book is very unique, individualized for that book, which is kind of a feat because sometimes when you read fiction, it all kind of sounds the same. Like the whole series has one consistent vibe and you kind of feel like you're reading the same book over and over again. I really appreciate that about Rebecca Yarros's writing. Also, this book is funny. Like the sass that these characters have for each other now after it being like 18 months that they've been at Basgiath is just crazy and it's hilarious. And I have like laughed out loud several times for like completely different characters too. It's not just one character that's like bringing in all the comedic effect. Like there's several characters that are just cracking me up. I think they're so funny. You can kind of see where I've kind of folded in some of the corners. Almost all of those are from times where I want to tab it because it just made me laugh and it was just so funny. Anyway, all that to say, I really am enjoying it and I'm hoping to finish this today. We have right at 19 hours left. Let me pull out my timer. 18 hours and 54 minutes and 29 seconds left on our clock. So we're hoping to get down to single digits today. If we read for 18 hours and 54 minutes straight, we would be done at 4:53 a.m. We're not going to do that though. We're going to sleep again because that was a great idea. Yeah, we're gonna hop right back into it. I think our drinks are done. Back to Basgiath we go. sorry, but I like Dane.
I do too.
I like him a lot. The more this book goes on, the more I'm like, wait, I really like Dane. I really like Dane. More than Zayden sometimes.
Yeah.
Redemption for Dane. It has been a long time since I've given you guys an official update. We are now at 12 hours and 7 minutes left on the clock, so technically we're still not even halfway there and still on the first book of this challenge. I was definitely hoping that I would be onto my second book by halfway through the challenge, but it's okay because I only have about 100 pages left in this book, so I'll definitely be done in the next hour or two maybe. The end I usually read pretty fast. So yeah, I'm on page 142. It's the middle of a pretty important point, but I realized that I hadn't updated you guys in a while, so I definitely wanted to do that before I got to the very end. I think one of the things I like the most about this series and Rebecca Yarros's writing, I've only read this series and Rebecca Yarros's writing, is that there's not just one big plot twist at the end, like there usually is, but there's plot twists all throughout the story. Like every couple chapter you're getting something where your jaw hits the floor and like you didn't see it coming, but it makes sense. And so I think that's one thing that like really keeps me on my toes with the series, and one thing that I really like about this series is that like it's not just a bunch of fluff and filler until you get to the climax of the story. It's like a constant stream of things that are blowing your mind, one thing after another, and then at the end there's the big plot twist or the big battle scene or whatever. I'm really enjoying it. I've heard some mixed reviews on Onyx Storm since it's come out, and I honestly don't get them. I think that this series is great and this book is great, so I don't know. Those are my thoughts. What do you think, Riley? It's been a while since we've heard from you. What do you think of Onyx Storm so far?
It's good. I do like it more than Iron Flame. It's very action-packed and there's a lot going on and it keeps you on your toes. Yeah, I like it.
That's the official report, folks. We like it. We will give you guys an update as soon as we're either right at the halfway mark, which is pretty much now. Yeah, that's now. 2 hours and 3 minutes. So we're at the halfway mark finally, which is great. But we will let you guys know when we finish Onyx Storm and give you our final thoughts and review. I'm so scared. How do I still have so many pages left? 483, chapter 60. Welcome to day 3 of this 24-hour reading challenge. It is now Sunday, February 2nd. Last night I finished Onyx Storm probably around 9:30 p.m. and I was completely blown away by the ending. I thought it was so good. Definitely an amazing cliffhanger. I want to know what happens right now. This series for me is one of the best romantasy series that I have read. It's the one that has captured my attention the most, and I just love the way that Rebecca Yarros tells a story. I think I mentioned that before when I was talking about Iron Flame, but in my mind, Onyx Storm is way better than Iron Flame. Maybe it's because we know the characters a little bit better, or maybe it's because they're having a completely different kind of conflict, but I really enjoyed this book and the dynamics of the characters in this book and getting to know certain characters more in depth in this book than in the previous 2 books combined. So for those reasons, I am giving Onyx Storm a 5-star. This is my first 5-star read of the year, and I am so happy that it was Onyx Storm because I love this series so much, and I am just so happy that I, spur of the moment, decided to read Fourth Wing that one time. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Onyx Storm. It's kind of hard to give thorough, in-depth thoughts on this book because it is the third book in a series and I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who possibly wants to read this series. So I will leave it at that, but 5 stars, better than Iron Flame. Maybe not quite as good in Fourth Wing in my mind, but this book had me crying. It had me laughing several times. And I think I mentioned this before, but I have several little places that I need to tab I thought were absolutely hilarious. And so I'm going to tab those so that I can go back and reminisce at those moments and how comical they were. So that's Onyx Storm. Then it was like, then I gave myself about a 30-minute break. And about 10 p.m. I decided to pick up the next book we were going to read. In all honesty, I thought I was going to be picking up Ghost Set of Watchmen because it's on my physical TBR for February. But after reading Onyx Storm, I really just didn't want anything that was going to be heavy in any way. And I didn't want anything that was going to take a ton of brain power because Onyx Storm, it took a lot of brain power to remember who was who and what was happening and all the details that you were holding in your mind, because eventually they will all tie together even if they haven't yet. So I decided against Ghost Set of Watchmen and I instead opted to pick up Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, which is a much more happy, simple read. And so far I'm really liking it. I only read for a couple hours last night, but I'm already at page 136. Actually, I think I'm a little further than that. I'm on chapter 21, 170. So I'm almost halfway through this book already. And we have 5.5 hours left on the clock. So I'm definitely going to finish this book. And if I do, I might start Ghost Set of Watchmen, but there's no way I'm going to finish that book in this vlog, but I might start it. So far with Part of Your World, I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely not my favorite Abby Jimenez book that I've ever read, but it's still good. I don't necessarily know if I would recommend it yet. I haven't gotten far enough in to be able to tell if I would recommend it to other people like I would the next 2 books in the series, Yours Truly and Just for the Summer. I will keep you updated on that. We're going to go ahead and jump into this book. I forgot to mention Riley finished Onyx Storm last night too, and she really enjoyed it. What was your final rating? A 4.5 star for her. So she thoroughly enjoyed it as well. And she is also reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. We're doing a double buddy read for this vlog, which is super fun. So we're going to get started on this and we will keep you guys updated on our thoughts on them. And we have our little iced chai lattes and we are ready to go. I just finished Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez and it was cute. I liked it, but it's definitely not one of my favorite Abby Jimenez books. I would still recommend it if you're planning on reading the entire Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez, which is Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and Just for the Summer. But other than that, if you're not a die-hard contemporary romance person, then maybe I would not recommend this one over some of her other romance books that she's written. But I think I'm gonna give it probably a 3.75 or a 4 star. I haven't exactly landed on the solid rating yet, but somewhere in that range, because I did really enjoy it, but definitely was not my favorite Abby Jimenez book that I've ever read. So that's Part of Your World, the second book of this challenge completed, which leaves the last book that we had picked out to start in this challenge, and that is Ghost Set of Watchmen by Harper Lee. This is the second book in the To Kill a Mockingbird duology, and it's not very long. It's only 278 pages, which is super short. Hopefully I'll be able to get through a nice little chunk of this before the challenge ends. We don't have very long left in the challenge. About 2 hours and 10 minutes left, as you can see. So yeah, we don't have very long left. I'm definitely not going to get anywhere near finishing this book in this vlog, but I will probably get through at least a couple chapters of it. I'm hoping maybe the first 70 to 100 pages of it. So the text on this one is a little bit smaller than Part of Your World, but nowhere near as small as Onyx Storm. That was crazy. Anyway, I'm going to start this, and I guess I'll see you guys when the timer goes off. We did it, 24 hours. I cannot believe that we did it. I cannot believe that it is over. We read for 24 hours in the span of 3 days. Honestly, this was so much fun. I had a blast. And I will be doing it again, but probably not necessarily anytime soon because that was a really big time commitment, but it was so much fun. I love just having dedicated time to just sit and read on these really long sprints, and we got to read 3 really great books out of it. These are the books that I got through, obviously Onyx Storm, Part of Your World, and I got through part of Ghost at a Watchman. I got to page 116 in that, so I'll probably be finishing this one in the next couple days. So far, my thoughts on this are it's okay, it's not great. I don't necessarily know if it's worth the extra time to read the second one in the series. You might just, I would personally recommend maybe just stick with, what's it called? To Kill a Mockingbird. Couldn't remember it there for a second. So those are all my thoughts on the book, but Riley actually finished her second book too. Do you want to come give your thoughts on Part of Your World? Like I mentioned, we were buddy reading Part of Your World together as well.
Hello. Part of Your World was good. It was cute. It wasn't as good as Just for the Summer, the third book in the series, but it was pretty good. I liked it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Riley. Like I said, this was a lot of fun, and it was really fun to have someone here doing it with me. So I wasn't just sitting alone in my apartment for 24 hours reading all by myself. So I'm very happy that Riley was able to come and do this with me. And yeah, it was a great time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Comment down below what you are currently reading, and I will see you guys next time.
Bye.